Well, the empathy and compassion of the Trudeau Liberals never ceases to amaze me. Look at this headline. Canadian doctors encouraged to tell patients about medically assisted death. That's right, they're so compassionate and empathetic that they want to make sure that your doctor reminds you that if you get really sick, they're happy to kill you. It says guidance documents given to Canada's providers of medically assisted death say that doctors must bring up medical assistance in dying, or MAID, as an option when it's medically relevant, and if the person is likely eligible, as part of a doctor's duty to provide informed consent. This is always the way that leftists go, isn't it? And make no mistake, Trudeau is not a liberal. The Liberal Party of Canada is not liberal. These are leftists, in some case, far leftists. If you're pro-government censorship, if you're pro-mandates, you're not a liberal. You're an authoritarian leftist. And that's what Trudeau is, an authoritarian leftist. And when you're under the thrall of that ideology, you're not an individual, you're a unit. You're a work unit, or you're a treatment unit. You don't come first, the collective comes first. And when you think like that, yeah, you think it's a good idea for doctors to just remind people that, well, we could kill you. And I guess the good news is that in Canada's healthcare system, they'll actually kill you for free. Well, I mean, it's not actually free. There's all those taxes. But anyway, the National Post reports that most jurisdictions in the world with legalized MAID prevent doctors from raising the practice with patients. Now, I've heard from doctors that your psychological state actually has a great deal to do with how well you recover or don't recover from illnesses, like cancer, for instance. Yeah, and it's not all of it, obviously. You still need treatment, but it does play some role. And I wonder what kind of psychological effect it could have when a doctor tells somebody who's not asking about it, just offers up, well, there is that, we could, might want to consider, some people could take that as a sign that maybe they should just give up. It seems to me to be entirely unethical and, kind of evil. It says in Canada, there are no legal restrictions on who can bring up MAID. Some ethicists say that doctors introducing death as a treatment without having the patient having asked is a serious issue, especially as MAID expands in Canada to allow a wider array of people, with fears that some may be influenced to having their life ended, given the power dynamic of the doctor-patient relationship. Quote, some people, no matter how well handled your conversation, may infer that it's essentially a suggestion, said University of Toronto bioethicist Carrie Bowman to the Post. They would also definitely infer that they have the strong potential to meet eligibility criteria, or you wouldn't be offering it. Yeah, it almost feels like the people that tell you that they're so compassionate and empathetic aren't. And how about stuff like this? This is from August. Medically assisted death recommendation to veteran was unacceptable, says Trudeau. Was it, or was it just embarrassing? Because where did you expect this to go? Well, there's this from April 4th. Canada will soon offer doctor-assisted death to the mentally ill. Man, can't you just feel all that empathy? There was another government that killed the mentally ill. Where was that? Was that in Europe? Was that in the 1930s, 1940s? I can't remember, but I'm sure that happened somewhere. Says 1 year from now, in March 2023, Canada will become one of the few nations in the world allowing medical aid in dying, or MAID, for people whose sole underlying condition is depression, bipolar disorder, personality disorders, schizophrenia, PTSD, or any other mental affliction. How about this from October 16th, 2022? The death debate, why some welcome Canada's move to assisted dying for mental illness and others fear it. So I guess it comes down to what kind of society do you want to live in? Do you want to live in the compassionate and empathetic society that asks people with schizophrenia if they'd like you to kill them? Or do you want to live in a society that isn't a dystopian nightmare, say? Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.